And welcome to WASA Distance Education. This is PLAR English and I'm Andrea. We're on class number 13. Uh, we'll have one more week left after this, 12th and 14th. We'll have two more classes left. Today I'm excited because we're going to go fairly quickly through just one assignment today. And then I thought I would create some bonus material. And this is just based off of what I've seen in terms of students submitting resumes and what students have asked in terms of questions about employment and things like that. I thought that it would be a nice bonus to talk about thinking about employment and talk about things like job categories and job searching. If you don't find this helpful, then you don't need to use it. I just thought that it would be a good thing to talk about, and I'd just like to thank the DEC, William in Thunder Bay, for getting me started thinking about this sort of thing. He had shared a link with me that I'll be sharing with you, and I just thought I would put it all together and explain how it all works together. So anyway, assignment 26 is first. Won't take very long. I'll give you some instructions and some information. So it's a very specific assignment, assignment 26. It's all about different types of resumes. So let me just read what your textbook has to say about types of resumes and sorry, not types of resumes yet. This is just what your textbook has to say about resume writing. Right, so resume writing. A resume is your opportunity to sell your set of skills to a prospective employer. You should present the best of yourself, emphasize the positive, and hopefully you will get the job. A resume should include details about your education, your work experience, and emphasize your skills. You should also include references with your resume, like a former employer or someone you have babysat for or an adult friend of the family. This is important here. It says, do not use a family member as a reference. The people that you pick to be a reference for you should know you, the type of person that you are, and what you have to offer the job. They will be recommending you or selling you to someone who is thinking about hiring you. I'd also like to add that in my opinion, the whoever you're choosing as a reference should also be fairly recent, right? Someone that you recently worked for. You don't want to pick a reference of someone that you worked for, 5, 6 years ago, and then they can't remember what you did on the job. You want to pick people that are recent or current. All right, so then it goes on to say, oh, it does mention the three types of resumes. So there are three basic formats for resumes: chronological, skills or functional, and a combination of these two formats. All of the formats use similar headings, but they emphasize different aspects. And then it says samples of these styles follow on the last pages of this lesson. We will look at three of those examples, and I'll go through them with you and explain what makes them good examples and even maybe how they could be improved even, because you can always improve. So I wanted to specifically show you what to do with assignment 26. What assignment 26 is, I'll just scroll down here. Um, it's a chart, and you fill in the left side of the chart and you fill in the right side of the chart. So you, on the left-hand side of the chart, you're putting each of the three names of the three types of resumes. And then on the right-hand side of the chart, you're answering some specific questions. Now, I answered in full sentences in my example, but you can answer in point form. It's just a really quick chart. You're just saying the name of the resume on the left, and then on the right, the two questions that you're answering are what the resume focuses on. All right, so if it's a functional resume, a skills or functional resume, then it focuses on your skills. And then, then the second question is who should use it, right? So we'll look at the different descriptions in the textbook, and we'll put the information together so that you fill in the chart. And what I thought I would do is I would take the example of the first type of resume, the chronological resume, and explain how you would take the information in your textbook and use that to fill in the chart in your workbook. So you just read each one. So there's one page in your in I think there's one page or two pages. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll review the exact page numbers at the end. But basically, you read the information and you get the important information out so that you can put it into the chart. So if we look at the first type of resume here, the chronological resume, I'll just read out what it has to say. It says, experience listed in chronological order by date with the most recent job or educational experiences listed first. Resume divided into sections, work experience, education, volunteer work, achievements, and awards. This style suits someone with many experiences in a particular field, showing a steady work history and a record of advancement from one position to the next. This resume is not suitable for someone with no work history or who has a history of jobs unrelated to the position being targeted by the resume. So if we're talking about filling in this chart, you take the name of the resume and you put it on the left. So on the left here under resume name, I put chronological resume. And then on the right, I answer these questions, what this resume focuses on and who should use it. So I say this type of resume focuses on people's most recent work experiences, right? Or experience, however you want to explain it. Um, and then someone who, sorry, what am I reading here? Someone with many experiences in a particular field should use it. In other words, someone with a lot of work experience with one kind of job or field, we'll say. So someone with a lot of experience in one field of work, that person should be using a chronological resume, especially if they want to stay in that field of work, right? A chronological resume is great because it will show exactly what they've done in that field of work over time. All right, so for assignment 26, you'll fill in the whole chart. I just got it started here just to show you what it looks like, but you will have to fill in the rest of the resume names, right? So you'll have two more rows and you'll have the second resume name and then you'll answer the two questions and then you'll have the third resume name and then you'll answer the two questions about that. All right, so the next information that I'm going to share is for assignment 26, and then we'll look at some examples and talk about why they're effective. And then next week we'll be practicing writing a resume on a computer. So the bonus materials that I mentioned at the beginning of class, where I'm just adding in, you don't need this for this course, but I thought that some people would enjoy learning a little bit more about job searching. Um, we'll talk about that when I'm done talking about assignment 26. And that might sort of it might get you thinking about your resume too, right? If you think about job searching, I mean, it's all related, right? Um, Job searching and creating a resume. Uh, if you're thinking of job searching, then you're probably thinking of writing a resume. All right, so I already read about the chronological resume, right? That's where you have your most recent uh, job experiences listed first, and it's suitable for someone with many experiences in a particular field. So for anyone that cannot see the screen that I'm looking at, you can actually use the bold text, the darker text to help you uh, find the answers that you need to fill in the chart. So the words most recent are in bold here, and the words listed first are here. So most recent listed first, right? So, and I mean, we could say most recent experiences listed first if we wanted to be picky here. Um, this style suits someone, so you know, someone with many experiences in a particular field, right? So that would fill out the right-hand side of the chart. And you can see that we have some bold text and we have some underlined text. So in your textbook, the information is all there. You just have to find it. All right, so I thought I was going to go through all three. No, I guess I'm doing one at a time. Okay, that's fine. So this is an example of a chronological resume. And there are a few common areas with resumes, right? Um, you'll always see the person's name and contact information at the top, right? So you've got name and contact information uh, is always first. And it should stand out. And I'll be showing you a few different examples of resumes today. In my opinion, I have some other examples where the person's information stands out better than others. But this is a good start because it has kind of all the basic parts of a resume to it. And then the other thing that you'll notice with the resume is that you've got main headings, and the main headings, you can tell what they are because they all look the same, right? So main heading, we have an objective, we have work experience, right? So, and and what else do we have? And your headings will be slightly different depending on what kind of resume you're writing and what kind of information you need to share, but they're fairly similar for the most part. Then we have education and achievements, volunteer work, and references. Um, and how do you tell that their main headings for anyone that can't see the screen is that they're all they're all capitalized, all capital letters. So that's one way to differentiate between the main headings and then the information that goes with them. Now, I just want to point out, and I'll point this out at the end again too, uh, that for assignment 26, you need to list 3 references. Nowadays, a lot of times when you write a resume and you submit a resume, when you apply for a job, you don't necessarily have to provide references. But in this assignment, you do need to include 3 references. And you know what? It's a good thing to do anyway, because let's say you submit your resume and then you end up having a job interview. Well, you'll already have your references ready. So this assignment really could prepare you for finding a job in real life. Okay, and then the other thing that I just want to point out is that you want to use some kind of bullet points. What are bullet points? Dots. Um, so you're you're giving details about here, for example, I'm looking at work experience right now, and then you see that there's a legal secretary as one job experience, and then underneath we have what's called bullet points, what the person is doing. They're preparing resolutions, they're assigning numbers, they're transmitting copies of something, and then they're talking about their duties. Um, so so you can use bullet points to to show that you're adding information. It makes it easier to read. It makes it nicer to read because the points are sort of indented a little bit. They're sort of moved in, so you can see that the title of the job, and then underneath there's some space here. And so it's easier to read what each position is all about. Um, so you can look at these, right? There's 2 other job positions here. You definitely want to list 3 for the assignment. And then you also should be listing your at least your education. So if you're a current WASA student, then you can say that you're currently attending. And in my example on Monday of for writing a resume, uh, I'll explain that in more detail, right? How do you add your education if you're still a student, sort of thing. All right, volunteer work. So you could have something like volunteer work. You could have uh, community involvement. You could have something like interests, right? So it'll depend. If you don't have any volunteer experience, then instead of listing 3 volunteer experiences, you'll list 3 interests. And those interests should be related to the job or the type of work that you're looking for. Second type of resume, right? So the other thing that I'll say, just sorry to flip back and forth, with a chronological resume, you see that there's it's longer, right? Because with a chronological resume, you've had someone that's been working in a certain field for a long time, right? And when we read this person's objective, it says accountant specializing in auditing, right? So this person has done a lot of accounting. And so um, for the assignment, your resume should not be any longer than 2 pages. And whenever you can, in real life, you should try to keep your resume to 1 to 2 pages. If you don't have a lot of work experience, you should only need 1 page. If you have a little bit more experience, then you can put it onto 2 pages. And actually, this is a good example with this chronological resume example. This is a good example of how the person could have spread this out a bit more to make it easier to read, and just spread it out so that everything fit onto 2 pages instead of one. But just for simplicity and to make it clear for this course, all of the resume examples are all fit onto 1 page. All right, but depending on what kind of resume you're writing and how much experience you've had, you might need more than 1 page. And I think this is a really good example with this one where more than 1 page would have been a good idea. Right, so don't be afraid to move to 2 pages if you need more space. All right, second type of resume is the skills or functional resume. This is what the textbook has to say about the skills or functional resume. This resume is good for individuals who have limited or no work experience, who are changing career paths, or who are returning to work after a long absence. It encourages work history under your skill areas or functional areas to focus on your particular abilities, like computer skills, accounting, or supervising or leading. It is useful in demonstrating how your skills are transferable from one position to the next, and that you understand these skills can benefit or impact this position. So, so if you're new to finding work, this type of resume could be really good for you, because you don't have a lot of experience, but maybe you've been to school, so you have some skills to share. And those skills, when they talk about skills that are transferable, what they mean is is that is that is that transferable skills can be used in any job. That's what they mean. Like the ability to be organized, right? Organization. If you're organized, it'll help you no matter what work you're doing. All right. So and then so it's the skills or functional resume focuses on skills and it's meant for somebody who either that person does not have a lot of experience, or it also says or someone who's changing career paths or returning to work after a long absence, right? So someone with very little experience, or somebody who is who wants to do something different than what they've been doing. So, right, we talked about the chronological resume, someone who's in a particular field of work and they're happy and they want to stick with that. But what if that same person turned around and said, "Oh, I'm tired of working in this field of work. I want to switch to a different field." They can focus on their transferable skills, the skills that they've developed, like organizational skills, or even computer skills is another good example, that are useful for any position that you might have. So this kind of resume, the skills or functional resume, allows people to say, these are the skills that I have, and this is how these skills would benefit a particular position that I'm trying to get. So here's an example. And one thing that I really like about this example is how easy it is to see the person's name at the top. That's great. And then how easy it is to see where all of the headings are. You can see that there's double lines in between each heading. So we have summary, qualifications, employment, education honors and activities, and then references. So there's a lot more space here, right? So you notice with this resume, not as much needs to be listed. Um, Maybe this person, yeah, it looks like this person hasn't quite had as much experience as the other person, but that's not a bad thing, right? I mean, there's just that means that there's more room. It just makes the resume a little nicer to read because there's more space. So the use of space can make a resume nicer to read as well. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so for assignment 27, it says that I need to have an objective statement, right? Okay. So your objective statement, um, in this case, this person, because it's a chronological resume, they're talking about their area of specialization and what they do, right? Accountant specializing in auditing, right? And in this example, instead of having an objective, the person has a summary. Um, uh, I would accept a summary statement instead. Let me just read this to give you an example. Communications and management specialist focused on improving operational efficiency. So, person could pick quite a bit of work here, being a communications and management specialist. So, so again, it's okay if you say, okay, I'd rather have a summary statement um, than have an objective statement, right? We'll look at an objective statement example next. And then the qualifications are listed. And this time um, rather than having really long lines, everything's kept to one line. I recommend that, right? So just to give you one example, trilingual skills, that's the third set of qualifications that are listed, and they're short little statements, right? Lived in Hong Kong for 14 years and Japan for 5 years. Speak fluent Chinese and Japanese. Speak fluent English. So really short, quick statements. That's the best way to use bullet points, is short, quick statements that are not full sentences. And then employment is listed here, year and then position and then where, year, position, where the person worked. Then we have some education listed, and then the references are listed. So when you're listing a reference, you should have the person's name, right? Their first and last name, the name of the position that they hold, the name of the company that they're at, and or where they work, or maybe they own a company too, right? And then you should have at least their phone number and email. Sometimes people will have a fax number. That's less and less common. I recommend phone number and email. And some people might say, well, if you ask them to be a reference for you, they might give you two different phone numbers to use. You can list two different phone numbers. You could list, say, like an office number and then a cell number for your references. You would go with whatever your reference preferred, right? However your reference preferred to be contacted. Oh, and also too, if you're asking someone to be a reference for you, you really should remind them, right? So maybe, you ask somebody uh, in the fall if they'll be a reference for you, but you don't end up applying for a job until sometime in the spring. You should contact that person again and let them know that you just applied for a job and which job you applied for, so that they can be ready in case they get a call. All right, third type of resume is the combination chronological and functional resume. This resume is most suitable for highly qualified applicants with broad experience who need to present the most relevant aspects of their work histories. It capitalizes on the advantages of the other two resume styles by listing work experience and discussing all skills developed under each of the jobs being listed. This resume is best suited to individuals with broad experiences who need to present the most relevant aspects of their work histories. So we're talking about someone with a lot of experience and a lot of skills, right? So it focuses on both skills and experience. And it and here we're talking about who it's suited for. We're talking about somebody who is looking for that one special job, and they're sort of sorting through the experiences and skills that they have, and they're sharing what they think is most relevant to that position that they're applying for. Here's an example of a combination resume. You don't have to use color, but you could. I don't recommend using color unless maybe you're applying to a job in some sort of artistic field, right? Um, each field of work might have different expectations for summaries too. That's something to consider. These are just general resumes that I'm sharing with you here. So the name is easy to read here. And the main thing that I like about this one is how all of my main headings are on the left, along the left, and then all of my information that goes with the headings are on the right, and then each section is separated by a line. So in my opinion, this one is the nicest to read because it's really easy to see where each part is. And we still have bullet points, right, to explain specific information in each section, and we still have our references, and it's easy to read. I promised I would give you an example of an objective statement, so I'll read the objective statement for this person. Seeking an entry-level position with a large advertising firm. What kind of position are you looking for? What kind of job are you looking for, right? This is an easy way to start it, is to just start with the word seeking an entry-level position with a large advertising firm. All right, so part two, this is extra information here, right? We're we're talking about, I thought you'd appreciate having a conversation about different job categories. So if you're thinking, well, how do I explain um, what type of job I'm looking for? I'm not even really sure what's out there. We're going to look at the National Occupational Classification. And well, I'll show you the 2011 resource just because I think it's the easiest to navigate. But there is a 2016 version. I'll show you both and you can see what I mean. And then I'll show you the job bank. And I've pre-prepared a few videos that I'd like to show you as well. I added a section to my YouTube channel. So um, now you can go to this website here. Now I think if you're looking for it yourself, right, it might be easier just to sort of think, okay, I'm going to do a search of of the National Occupational Classification. So another way that we could do that is we could just say, you know, NOC Canada, right? And when we do that search, the most recent website is the 2016 website, just so that you know. And I'll just go to it so you can see what the heck I'm talking about. Whoa, complicated government website here. Now, if you don't know what you're looking for, then it can be challenging. And what we're looking for is something called a code list. Why? You'll see. I'll click on it. Click on it. Okay. So we have a list of occupations here, and they're grouped. They're grouped together as well. So I'm just scrolling down. We have different kinds of managers here. Lots of different kinds of managers. And then we have different kinds of administrative jobs. So we have those listed, and you can see that they're grouped together. I'm not going to read through everything. Keep going, keep going. Jobs in health occupations like doctors and stuff like that, pharmacists. And for me as a teacher, I'd be looking at occupations in education, law, social, community, and government services, right? So if I'm looking at what I do right now, I'm a secondary school teacher because this is high school, right? All right. So anyway, so you can see how that how this list could be useful. But of course, like I was saying, you kind of have to know what you're looking for to begin with, right? So if I go to the home page of this page, it says here, I'll just highlight it here. It says the NOC 2011 website and NOC 2006 website are also available. So I just want to go to the NOC 2011 website because you can actually find some links here. We have NOC 2011 occupational descriptions and NOC 2011 printable version. All right, so I'm just going to right click and open this in a new tab and open in a new tab. So when I look at my occupational descriptions, it's that same list that I just showed you. Okay, I'm going to show you a really cool trick in a second here. And then you can even download that, right? If I got this guide here in PDF in English and I clicked access, then I would get the booklet, right? With all the same information that's on the whole website, right? Just to show you that it's there. I just want to show you that it's there. Now, let's say that we're here, okay? And I'm thinking of what kind of job I might be interested in. If you on your keyboard, and I made a separate video about this on my YouTube channel there, but if you hold down the control button, so I hold control down, control is right underneath the shift key. So if I hold control, so I'm holding it down with one finger, and then I press the letter F. So control F. What happens? Maybe I should do it again so you can see it pop up. So control F. You get a search box that appears, and you can do this with any active document. You could even have a Word document open. You could press Control F and you could search for things, right? But what's happening here is I'm on a website and I want to search everything that is here. Okay, so I hit Control F and then I go up here and I type it in. Maybe all you can think about is some kind of service job. Okay, so you type in the word service and you can see, okay, 2 of 86, where's 1? Oh, okay, just up there. So you see it just looks for the word service anywhere on this active page. And so you can get an idea of the types of jobs that are related to service, right? Administrative service, community service, managers, right? So you could use this tool, and there's a lot of different ways that you could provide service. You can even judges, there's so many things, community service workers, food service supervisors, food and beverage service, right? So there's so many ways that you could offer service. Customer service representatives, right? I'm just trying to think of some common service jobs that you might have. All right, so hopefully you find that useful to know that this website's out here and you could use it. Now, let's say, for example, that here I'll go back up to some like common job here. So let's say we'll pick cable television and maintenance technicians. If you click on it, it will bring up information about it. It will say it will say what the person does, right, up here. So it says cable television service technicians install, maintain, and repair cable and satellite television and internet signal and associated equipment in homes and commercial buildings. Cable television maintenance technicians maintain and repair cable television transmission and distribution systems in associated hardware. They are employed by cable and satellite television companies. So you can also look at different job titles like a cable television installer. You can click view all titles. You can see a huge list. So hopefully I've explained how this website can get you information. And you look at this number, 7247, that's what you would call your 4-digit NOC code. Right? As so any group of jobs, right? So this whole list is part of this 7247 group. All right, so there, I'm done explaining that site. So now I thought, okay, let's take a visit to the job bank so that you can see how this is related. So, yeah, so we did that website, and now we're looking at the job bank. So I'll just do a quick search. I'll just type in job bank. Oh, I'll just do Canada. There. Oh, there we go. That's quick. Sometimes it's easier just to search for something than you click on the link. So this is what the job bank looks like. I'm just gonna close this so that it's not blocking anything. Um, and um, and 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 anybody can do a job search for free, right? I just want to give you one example, one suggestion that I think will be the most useful. And on my YouTube, I actually provide 3 different examples of searching. Um, but if you're from a smaller city or a smaller community, like I am, I recommend just looking up that community, right? So, and you want to find, for example, Sioux Lookout is considered to be a hub, right? So you don't want to choose such a small community where, you know, the jobs probably aren't listed here on the job bank. You want to pick somewhere where jobs will be listed on the job bank, right? So just keep in mind that you'll find jobs that employers have listed, right? So if I'll just type in Sioux Lookout, and I can press enter or I can click search just to show you how easy it is. And you can see that there are 12 jobs found. Now, you might go, oh, that's not very good. That's not useful. Okay, you can look, you can search in a larger area, right? So if I look here at distance from Sioux Lookout, I can increase my search radius, right? So I move this green dot over, I'll move it all the way over to the right and release it. And then the page refreshes, and now I have 1,347 jobs. Okay. And then you go, oh, well, I don't want to look through 1,300, oh, sorry, 1,345 jobs. Sorry, pardon me. I don't want to look through that many jobs. Okay, so narrow it down then. For example, maybe you decide that when you did your first search that neither of the 12 jobs worked for you. But you thought, okay, Dryden's pretty close, so maybe I'll look at Dryden. So when I click on Dryden, what happens is it just shows the 28 jobs that are found in Dryden. So I've narrowed my search down to just the positions that are being listed for Dryden. All right, and you can look up other things. You can look for jobs that were just posted if you want. In type of work, you can look for just full-time work or just part-time work. So let's say you only wanted full-time work, so you could choose full-time work. So now you just have 12 jobs to sort through, and you could keep going. If you belong to a certain employment group, you can choose one of these. Um, and you can even say, okay, I only want jobs that are posted on the job bank, right? Um, you could even do that. And you can even say, okay, I only want the jobs that require university education or that require college or that require completing high school or some kind of job training. So let's say I choose this one, right? So maybe you're someone that has either finished high school or maybe you've had some job training. Click on it. So now you have 6 jobs to sort through, right? So you can tailor this to what you think you have to offer, right? So you're someone who's able to go to Dryden, who's looking for full-time work, who has either finished high school or who has some job-specific training to offer. And then these jobs will 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 match with that. Now, something that we're going to get into next with some videos is this option here. It says create an alert with this search. Well, like I said, anybody can do a search for free, okay? But if you want an alert for it, you have to sign up. And this is just because this is a service. The job bank is a service that's being provided by the government of Canada, right? Um, Imagine putting all of this information together, how much time that would take. So this is a service, and they just want to make sure that if you're getting alerts and stuff. So what is an alert? Basically, you've done a job search and you like the looks of it. You like the sorts of jobs that were listed here, and you want to know if there are similar jobs like this that come up in the future. You'll get emailed for it. This information will be repeated when I show you my videos here. But so you can see that signing up for things can be useful depending on what you need it for, right? Maybe all you need to do is search, and that's enough for you. That's fine. But if you think that you need more help, then then you can do that, right? I'm just going to move this over and there we go. Okay, so let me go through some videos for you. Um, I have, like I said, I added more to my website here. Um, and I might not actually have quite enough time to show you all of them, but that's okay. Um, and in fact, I think what I'll do is maybe I'll just show you just the very beginning of this one. I won't show you all of the second one. Um, but I've created a new video series, and so we'll look at the first four. And if you think that you might need more help job searching, there's more examples here. And then and then for anyone that wasn't in class, where I took you to that website and I showed you all the different types of jobs and the different job groupings, I have a video all about that too. Okay, so I don't run out of time here. Let's say that you've been searching for employment and you feel like you need some more help. You can sign. Okay, I'll start this over. So this is the first video that I'd like to share with you here. It just gives you an overview of the few things that you could sign up for. Mm, mm, I have to go back maybe. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, I'm not sure what happened. I'm going to close it and open it again. Let's see if that helps. Sorry about that. Now, the reason why I don't want to just go to my YouTube page to show you these videos is because of what we're using to show the videos today. The quality won't be good enough to show. So that's why I'd rather do that this way. All right, here, first one. Let's say that you've been searching for employment and you feel like you need some more help. You can sign up for an account and access a few different services. And when you sign up for it, because this is a Government of Canada site, they need some way of proving that you have the right to access their services. And so part of signing up will involve providing your social insurance number. So that's something to keep in mind before you even get started. So if I go into menu here, it will show me the options that I have as a job seeker. Job alerts involves getting emailed when a job comes up. Basically, what you would do with a job alert is you would do a quick job search, and then you could be alerted to any other jobs that were related to that search that you did. Job match. This is when you share your information, when you create a profile for yourself, and then that information is matched with whichever jobs are available. If, say, you are somebody that's new to finding work and maybe you don't have a lot of work experience, then job alerts might be a good place to start. Job match might come later after you've had some work experience and you've been able to put information in your profile. So when you sign up to use the services, when you sign up for an account, you can either use job alerts or job match, and you will be prompted to start your profile. But let's say that you don't have any work experience, it's fine not to put anything in there, because you can have a profile and you can choose not to activate your profile until you feel that it's ready. Okay, so that's the first video that I wanted to share with you, just explaining the difference between job alerts and job match, and just giving you a general idea of what you would be in for if you decided to sign up for these extra services. All right, so let's look at the next one here, and this one's going to focus on job alerts, I think. Or no, I think, let's see. I think this one is signing up, just signing up for, yeah, this one is signing up for services, sorry. So just remember that there's only one way to sign up, and it's through Job Match. So you sign up by clicking on Job Match. You can also get to Job Match by clicking on the sign in button at the top and going into Job Match. After you sign up through Job Match, you will use the same account for job alerts. So if I choose sign up. Okay, so why did I say that you use the same account? Basically, you go into Job Match, you sign up, you go through all the steps. And then when you're all done, you'll have an account. And then when you go back and click on the job alerts option, if you're signed in already, it will bring you there automatically because you're already signed in. So you have one account with one username and one password that gets you access to both your job match and your job alerts. There's a privacy statement to agree to. I definitely recommend reading through this. I'll choose agree, and it will warn me that it needs certain bits of information, and I'll just click continue. Now, because some of the information that it's asking me for is private, I'm going to pause the video to fill in the information. After you've entered your user information, it will give you a message letting you know that you'll receive an email. And in that email, you'll get a confirmation code. Now that I've verified, you can see that it's asking me for some more personal information. And the last step is to fill in some security questions and answers. I will pause again and come back after I'm done this, but I just want to warn you that the next step will be for you to start managing your preferences. If you don't want to fill in anything for your profile, you can skip any of the sections that you want and then go back to them later. Okay, so I put that in the video because basically after you're done step 4, you're ready. But what happens with this, with the way it works, is you'll go into a section where you're setting your information if you wanted to use the job match services. So basically, in the next part of the video, I share a couple of things of how to start filling in that information, just the start of it. But then I show you how you can easily click back and forth. Right. So, and you could even do the same here, right? Like if I wanted to go back and and if I had forgotten to do something in a step, I could go back and forth, right? So I'll just show you just a little bit of the video as it continues here, not the whole thing. So the next step will be to manage your preferences. There's a default look. Okay, so I really just wanted to show you this screen here, right? So you have preferences about where you could work and the type of work that you'd want. You know, are you looking for work in just Ontario or elsewhere? And then the next section is all about your experience and skills. So you're filling in any jobs that you've had in the past. And in the third section, you add in your education. And in the fourth section, you get to your credentials. Right now, I could have clicked all the way to 4. I could have clicked on credentials. I could have skipped everything, right? Um, so then I get to the end. I wonder if I can fast forward. Ooh, it looks like I can, right? So I'll just go back a little bit, show you near the end here. Something important to note here is that if you've gone in order, by the time you get to your credentials, the system will make suggestions for you. And then when you're done, you click Save Profile. You must activate your profile to be matched to jobs. Continue to update your profile or click on Activate Profile if you have completed your updates. So when you're ready to activate your profile, you can choose Activate Profile. And then you get a message telling you that your profile was activated. Okay, so if you were to go through everything, that's what would happen, right? You know, you'd fill in everything. That could take a little bit of time, right? But again, you can skip over it, and you can choose not to activate your profile. Right? Just leave it unactivated until you're ready, right? Maybe all you want to do is use the job alerts. So let's just look at this job alerts video here. Okay, let me show you what job alerts looks like. This is one of 2 options to make it easier to search for employment. I'll just click on it here. And what you need to do if you're accessing it from here is put in the job title that you're looking for. And if you've already done lots of searching, then this part will be easy for you. And one thing to know is that when you start typing in a job title, so let's just say that I'm looking for some kind of teaching job. When you type that in, a whole bunch of options will come up that are already in the system. And you can see that there are numbers after them, and that's because there's a number for each different job category, we'll say. And so you need to pick something specific. So you need to go into this having an idea of the type of work that you're looking for. So let's just say, for example, that I choose college teacher here. And then I can put in a city, and I'll just put in Toronto, Ontario, just because I know this will get me lots of results. And now the next thing to do is to put in your email address and click subscribe. Now, because I've already signed up for an account, I'm already in the system. And so what'll happen is that when I put in my email address and then click subscribe, it will give me a message saying that I'm already in the system. And just to protect my privacy, because I don't want everyone having my personal email address, I'm going to pause this video and do that step, put in my email address and click subscribe. Then I'll come back and show you what happens next. So you can see here that your email address will show on the left, and I'm just not showing that to you. And again, I've already signed up. The next step is to put in your password and then choose sign in. And again, to protect my privacy fully, I'm going to pause and come back after I've put in my password and clicked sign in. Okay, the next part asks you to answer a security question to verify your identity. Now, I don't want you to see any of my security questions either, but you should know that when you sign up, you will provide security questions and answers. Check out my separate video on signing up for more details on this. But basically, a question pops up and you type in your answer. And now, your answer won't be shown on the screen, but it will show how many characters there are, right? Little black dots will come up. And if you want to make sure that you've typed it in correctly, you can click on display here. Okay, so you can see here now that the arrows popped up, and if you could see my question, then you would be able to read my answer. So that's what I mean by you can check to see that you're typing in the right answer. And then you will get to the job alerts screen, and you can see that the job search that I just did for a college teacher in Toronto, Ontario is being shown here. And what this is telling me is that if any other related jobs come up, meaning any other jobs that belong to the code 4021, any of those jobs come up, then that are in Toronto, Ontario, then I will get an email about that. Now, if you're tired of getting job alerts altogether, you can unsubscribe, or you could just look at all the alerts that you have and just delete any job alerts that you don't want, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just delete this. I don't really want it. Okay, and then you can see that there are 0 job alerts. And then if you want to create a new job alert, then you just go in, you just click here for job search.
Okay, so I think you get enough
Okay,
of,
let me show you.
sorry. I think you get enough of an idea. I go on to show you another example in that video. I just know that we've run out of time, uh, but I hope that this was helpful. Me showing you the different options that you have through the job bank. When you do assignment 26, remember to read the textbook on pages 56 to 57, and fill in the chart on the workbook on page 54. Thank you. Have a good night.